Life can throw people at you who drain your energy, distort your reality, and leave you questioning your worth. You might have encountered someone who thrives on manipulation, attention, or control. Someone whose presence leaves a lingering tension in your soul. These are narcissists, and their impact is not subtle. They disrupt your peace, erode confidence, and make even ordinary interactions exhausting. This video is a guide for anyone who has felt trapped in the whirlwind of a narcissist's behavior. It draws lessons from Jesus, showing how he handled toxic, self-centered individuals while maintaining focus, integrity, and purpose. The goal is not just survival, it's empowerment, restoration, and reclaiming peace in the face of those who thrive on chaos. If you've ever struggled with someone emotionally draining, you know the feeling of constantly walking on eggshells. Emotional Soulmate, the channel behind this video, dives deep into understanding narcissistic personalities, manipulative behavior, and emotional abuse. It offers tools to navigate these relationships, heal, and create boundaries without guilt. Watch to the end for insights that can transform your approach to toxic relationships. Recognizing the drama, the power of ignoring narcissists. Narcissists are experts at creating chaos. Every conversation, gathering, or interaction becomes a stage where they are the center. Their ego demands attention, and their drama thrives on others' reactions. Some seek overt attention, others wear a cloak of false humility to manipulate quietly. But the impact is the same, a persistent strain on those around them. Jesus faced a similar challenge with the Pharisees. Their constant criticisms and attempts to trap him in controversy mirrored the behavior of modern narcissists. Instead of reacting, Jesus stayed focused on his mission, refusing to be baited into unnecessary conflict. Ignoring narcissistic provocations is not passive. It is a strategic choice. It preserves energy, maintains clarity, and keeps attention on what truly matters. Learning to ignore toxic attention seekers requires practice. It's about recognizing that their attacks are not reflections of your worth. Their judgment, criticism, or dramatics serve their own agenda, not yours. You can observe, acknowledge, and choose not to engage. Every time energy is withdrawn from a narcissist, control over your own life strengthens. Calling out the behavior without losing yourself. Ignoring toxic behavior has its place, but sometimes boundaries need articulation. There are moments when silence allows harm to continue unchecked. Jesus demonstrated the importance of addressing hypocrisy and manipulation directly, speaking truth to those who wield their ego as a weapon. Calling out narcissistic behavior is an act of clarity and courage. It is not about changing the person. Narcissists rarely experience genuine self-reflection, but about asserting truth and protecting personal integrity. These confrontations must be approached with intention, not anger. The goal is awareness, not retaliation. It is a firm declaration. Harmful behavior is recognized and will not be tolerated. This approach prevents long-term erosion of self-worth. When you articulate boundaries and identify manipulation, you reclaim autonomy. The world becomes less intimidating when actions are deliberate rather than reactionary. Words can serve as a shield, not a sword, asserting control over your peace and space without feeding the narcissist's need for attention. Walking away, the strength of cutting ties. Some relationships cannot be corrected, no matter the clarity of boundaries or the firmness of words. Narcissists often operate with habitual, willful patterns of harm, making genuine connection impossible. Recognizing when to step away is a crucial skill in self-preservation. Jesus demonstrated this principle in his teachings and interactions. When engagement proved unfruitful, he withdrew, focusing on those receptive to his message. Walking away from harmful relationships is not abandonment, it is protection. It signals self-respect, prioritizes mental and emotional well-being, and allows energy to flow toward growth rather than destruction. In practice, leaving a narcissist behind can take many forms: physically distancing, minimizing contact, or emotionally detaching while maintaining necessary interactions. Each step is a reclaiming of power, an assertion that your peace is non-negotiable. For those who struggle with codependency, this can feel difficult. But liberation comes from understanding that persistent exposure only reinforces the cycle of harm. Prayer, healing, and boundaries. For individuals of faith, prayer is a powerful tool, but it must be applied wisely. Not all situations require intervention. Some patterns of harm are so ingrained that persistent attempts to save the narcissist only perpetuate suffering. Awareness of this distinction is essential. True healing begins with focusing on one's own path, trusting that justice and change occur in their own time. Jesus' approach balances compassion with wisdom. Compassion does not require compromising safety or peace. Healing comes from setting boundaries, cultivating self-respect, and nurturing relationships with those who genuinely contribute to growth and joy. Spiritual practice can anchor resilience, but it should never justify repeated exposure to manipulation or abuse. Reclaiming peace and purpose. Living with awareness of narcissistic patterns empowers you to navigate life without constant fear or anxiety. The core principle is clarity. Do not allow others to dictate self-worth, disrupt purpose, or steal joy. Recognize manipulation, articulate boundaries, and disengage when necessary. Peace is reclaimed not through confrontation alone, but through consistent practice of these principles. Each decision to maintain distance, refuse participation in drama, or assert truth strengthens internal resilience. Narcissists thrive on chaos. Refusing to supply it removes their control. Living this way fosters empowerment. It transforms fear into confidence and instability into strength. Every step toward clarity and autonomy is a declaration that life is governed by intentional choices, not external coercion. Building a life beyond manipulation. Beyond strategies for immediate encounters, long-term growth requires deliberate cultivation of emotional independence. Tools for recognizing toxic behavior, resources for personal development, and communities for support can provide reinforcement. Emotional Soulmate provides guidance for understanding narcissistic behavior, avoiding emotional traps, and creating sustainable boundaries. Engaging with these insights offers clarity and practical steps for maintaining health in all relationships. Healing is a journey, not a single action. It requires awareness, courage, and persistence. The message is simple yet profound. Peace, self-respect, and purpose are available to everyone, even in the presence of manipulation and harm. Your life is not defined by the actions of others, but by the choices made to protect and nurture personal well-being. Moving forward with strength. When encountering narcissistic or toxic individuals, you can take deliberate steps toward freedom. Recognize manipulative patterns without internalizing blame. Call out harmful behavior without expecting transformation. Withdraw from situations or relationships that consistently undermine peace. Use prayer, reflection, and intention to reinforce emotional resilience. Focus energy on growth, healing, and relationships that support authenticity. Your life is a space for purpose, not a stage for manipulation. Boundaries are not just protective, they are empowering. Every action to reclaim peace reinforces self-worth and fortifies resilience. Even in the presence of self-centered, destructive individuals, it is possible to remain grounded, clear, and intentional. The path is not always easy, but the reward is profound. Liberation from chaos, restoration of peace, and the ability to live fully aligned with values and purpose. Embrace your power. The journey through relationships with narcissists is challenging, often painful, but deeply instructive. It reveals the importance of boundaries, clarity, and self-respect. By learning to ignore manipulation, call out harmful behavior when necessary, and disengage when safety is at stake, life becomes less reactive and more intentional. Empowerment comes from understanding that peace is a choice, not a privilege. The lessons from Jesus' example are timeless. Focus on purpose, protect emotional space, and act with integrity. Each step toward clarity and autonomy strengthens the inner self and fosters resilience. You have the power to reclaim your life. Every decision to protect peace, assert boundaries, and nurture authentic connections reinforces your worth and authority over your experience. Freedom is within reach. Stand strong, live intentionally, and embrace the peace that comes from reclaiming your narrative. And as always, because YouTube's algorithm tends to favor videos with strong engagement, if you feel this video has brought you value, a simple like and a quick subscribe would mean so much. It not only helps this message reach more people who need it, but also ensures you will never miss the next video that could make a difference in your journey. Thanks all.